Are you looking for something affordable, unique, and fun to give away in your merch orders or at your shows? Look no further. Hit me up today to order 1-inch buttons for your band, label, or other project. High-quality metal pinback buttons for your friends and fans' battle jackets, messenger bags, and guitar straps. $38 for 100 buttons shipped inside the U.S. Message me on IG at EverythingRemade to get started. Hello, and welcome to Everything Remade, a podcast that I hope is about growth as much as it is about music. I'm Edie Quinn, and we have a great show lined up for you today. Before we get started, though, I'd like to remind you about our Patreon page at patreon.com/humanmachine, where you can go to sign up and support the show, read zines, get music sneak peeks, and so much more. That's patreon.com/humanmachine. And now, I'd like to play something for you. You're hearing Even a Worm Can Turn by Death Goals, featuring my new pal Harry on guitar and vocals. The song comes from their new EP, Survival is an Act of Defiance, which you can find on Bandcamp now.
I mean, I've been told by my parents that I was born in 1997, and I was like infatuated with the Hanson song, the Mbop song.
Yeah?
Like that was like I just wanted to hear that constantly. I think from a very, very, very young age, I've been like super into music and always wanted to be around music. I think like I remember being like obsessed with like did Busted ever come over to like make its way to like the US?
That doesn't sound familiar.
So Busted were like a early 2000s British, like basically a boy band dressed up like a pop punk band. And they were like huge. They were like the first concert I went to when I was like 6. And they did like cool the pop punk like jump kicks in the air and whilst playing guitar and stuff. And I remember that being a thing where I was like, I want to do that. I want to play guitar. I want to make music. So probably Busted and like The Darkness, who were like another band of that era, but they were like doing like a kind of a glam rock. Les Paul guitar solo.
I know them, yeah.
Thing. Yeah, The Darkness are wicked. That first album. Probably like I remember wanting to be in Busted and loving Darkness. So like those two being like the first like guitar bands that I remember from like the age of maybe like 5 being like, ooh, that I want to do that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I grew up with like Metallica and Iron Maiden because my dad was like a big thrash dude. So I had that in the background, but that was the first time I was like, ooh, that I want to do that. That's really fun. And then obviously you go down the like rabbit hole of like you get more into like the stuff your parents like, and then you go to like secondary school and you like someone hands you like a metalcore like a My Chem CD. Like my aunt gave me Black Parade, and I remember that being like, oh, that's really cool. And then getting to like Bring Me the Horizon, and then he goes down like the rabbit hole again of like finding like deathcore, and then you find like mathcore, and then you find like the classic like worm hole of like just horrible music till you reach a certain point and go, maybe I'm not into like porno grind. Maybe that's not a thing that's like I need in my life. So you take 4 steps back and go back to like chaotic hardcore and stuff. Like at a later point, finding like an Every Time I Die and a Let Live and the Chariot and being like, that's what I want to do. Like I played in a lot of bands at that point. I was about like I was at 18, 19. I played in a bunch of like math rock bands and like punk bands and all these sort of like post-hardcore bands. But finding that and that chaotic like release, I think that was the point where I was like, that's what I want to do. Specifically what the music I really want to make, that's what I want to do. So it starts at like Busted and like pop rock stuff and then goes all the way to like chaotic hardcore discoveries.
Yeah. Now, Darkness was the band that had the song where it was like, keep your hands off my woman.
Oh my God, yeah. But
Oh
like,
my
so
gosh.
my mum would like play that CD in the car, whatever, and like would just like yell over like I didn't realize like the pre-chorus. Can I swear on this?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So the pre-chorus of that is just him screaming "You cunt" in like a
Oh my god.
falsetto, which I was like, I remember being like 14 and that coming on, being like, hang on, what the fuck is he saying? This is disgusting. I can't believe my mum was like playing this around me when I was like 6. This is crazy.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah,
word
those
is doesn't mean this. It's not. It doesn't have the same connotations for y'all as it does over here.
true,
So,
true,
I learned
true.
that very quickly on my first like European tour. So,
Yeah,
it's so there's like a little distinction there for anybody listening here. It's just like it's probably it's very harsh, but like it's just a swear word, not like it is over
yeah,
here where it's like pretty offensive. You know,
yeah.
like
It still hits America quite hard.
yeah,
There
but
are still
like
some people who probably grimace at it in the UK,
oh, I'm
but
sure, I'm
so many
sure.
people use it just as like friendly conversations with each
Right,
other.
right.
Very odd. The like British like uh enjoyment of swears and curses at each other is a fascinating thing that I think people should read and study more.
Yeah, I've never heard a version that had that on it. Like I've never, and I don't. Uh, I've maybe heard this song 2, 3 times, in my life. Like, but that's
Mm.
such that vocal melody and the lyric was such a like, what? It was such a
It's
what?
crazy. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
whole album has got some really, really crazy things. But I think he used to write like jingles or something. So like that's why like the guitar like melodies and the vocals are so like catchy. He's just like really good at writing like earworms. Um,
I
Shout out
definitely
Justin
remember
Hawkins.
seeing I believe in a thing called love. I think it's called like remember
Yeah,
seeing that video a lot,
that's
and
a great music video as well.
yeah, and that was
Like,
that was
he
sort
was
of
like at a
up.
point where like 2000s like corniness was like trying to be like really like cool and like and that new metal sort of thing was still happening. You had this band doing like, oh, he's wearing like cat suits and coming out and wearing on like a tiger, like a fake tiger at concerts. Like it was so like theatrical and ridiculous. Like I really enjoy that. Like
Yeah,
I love I love the theatre of a rock show sometimes.
it was
Lost
way
art.
before like that other band that came out that like basically just like sounded like AI Led Zeppelin or whatever. I can't
Oh, Greta
remember.
Van Fleet.
Right, right. Yeah. I couldn't remember their
Yeah.
name, but like yeah, it was way before that, but it was kind of like, hey, what if we did what if we took some of that like outrageous shit from like 70s
Mm.
rock and roll and stuff and did it all with like modern video effects and stuff and put it like right in your eyeballs, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I mean, the Greta Van Fleet thing does feel like someone has just gone like, well, let's just. It feels like Led Zeppelin karaoke, whereas at least like the Darkness had a bit more of like modern rock
Yeah, they were
sensibility and stuff. It was like it was paying homage to. It wasn't like a Steel Panther where like, oh, well, they're a parody band.
yeah.
Like the Darkness had a sound that was reminiscent of like the 70s and like a sort of like glam rock power shred stuff, but it wasn't like parody, even though they lent into it
Right.
and like the visual whoever. I'm
Right.
on here defending the Darkness now, like I'm a
It's funny.
non-Darkness
It's
listener
funny.
to it.
Like I'm not necessarily a fan of them. Like I said, I heard the songs and they like you said, they're earworms. They stick in your head whether
Mm.
whether that you're receptive to that or not. And like I'm not saying they're bad. I don't think that either.
I
But I
mean, they
will
were very
say
much a one album band. That first album's so good, and then the other ones are so completely fine. Their most recent album is called like, is it called like Dreams on Toast? It's like one of the worst album titles I've ever heard in my life. It's just awful.
yeah. I I was just going to say that like regardless of where you sort of land on them, you've at the time when that came out, you were like, yeah, they're taking a swing, you know, and
Mm,
I always respect
100%.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it
100%. There's nothing worse than playing it safe,
yeah they could
especially
have
within art, especially within music.
right. Yeah, so like you said you were already playing in bands and stuff like before you really like found like the thing that would sort of lead you to where you are now. But like
Mm.
were you playing shows and stuff like in like your math rock bands and stuff
Yeah, yeah,
that you
yeah. So
yeah.
I played my first show when I was like 14, 15. Like my really quite rubbish pop punk band. Um, I did that for a bit. Then I went to college and I was in a band who were like kind of like Coheed and Cambria esque, like math rocky, post hardcore kind of stuff, bit emo, really like fun. Like, and that's where I sort of like I got actually kind of felt good at playing guitar. So I had to get good at playing guitar to play like the stuff the other guitar player was writing. Um, then when I went to uni and like we did loads of shows and we recorded some EPs on that project. And then I went to uni and that band sort of started falling apart as everyone sort of got into other projects and stuff. Then in my like so 2017 was my like second year of uni. My the math rock alt thing had like died. Um and that was when I was at my most like I've really gotten into like properly into like Dillinger and I was like all into this like I was finding things like Orchid and like I wanted that like scramsy like messy. I wanted to just play a lot of shows. Like the live thing was always what drew me to playing music and wanting to perform. Like I used to do musical theatre. Like I love performing. It's my favorite thing to do, and I found that a really good release for me. So I sort of looked around, and there was a drummer who was into like similar ballpark. He had a Converge like T-shirt. I was like, "You want to form a band with me?" And we made a duo because it was easier to like play shows. And then I think a week after our first practice, we played a show that wrote like five, 6 songs in like a week, and then played a show on April 1st. So we were quite quick to getting to it. Yeah, I've been playing shows for ages.
Yeah. What what do you think like was the big difference as far as like the shows that you were playing in like you know pop punk bands or math rock bands or whatever to like when you first started seeing like being at like heavier shows or what was it you know was the energy just like that much more just dialed up and you like really clicked with that or like you know was it
I
more
mean,
just about the sounds you were hearing or like a little bit of both.
I love the sounds, and I just love the performance. Like in all the bands I was in, I was going harder than anyone else on stage. Like at the very first show we ever did in the pop punk band, we did like a cover of like Breed by Nirvana, and I got on my knees and did like the like noise solo thing. Like I was like in the math rock alt thing, I was always like going into the audience and like screaming and like doing like guitar swings and stuff. Like I was always being too much for those bands in a performance way because I just didn't know how to perform any other way. I was like, you got to give it your all, and it's got to be like this big expressive performance. Like I never understood people who would just like stand still. Like getting to like I was watching more bands. I was watching bands like Let Live and The Chariot, and like there was a band in the UK who were called Baby Godzilla at the time, now known as Heck. Became like one of my favorite bands ever. And they would like first thing like all the instruments would be in the crowd. Like I just love that sort of audience interaction and stuff. So like being able to like going to more shows like that and going like, well, I just want to do this. So I started doing it, and like on the first show, I was like climbing on people and like getting in people's faces and like making it a really um, intense and like interactive performance. Like I always just loved that, and like getting that response back was always really cool.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh yeah, I get this. Like this makes more sense now than it being like a pop punk band and like the first song of our set being like feedback and like just random stabs and people just walking out going, well, this is awful. I don't want to watch this. They're not doing Sum 41 covers."
Yeah.
Yeah, we've more and more. I found the audience where that wanted to hear what I was doing, apart from forcing people to listen to what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I you know, you're talking about like what you're doing in these different bands where it wasn't received the same way, and I can't help but think of like I was involved in this project with this guy, and he had this band that sounded like the Wonder Years or something, you know, and
Okay, cool.
they had a show that was lined up, and their bass player couldn't play or something, so they asked me to play bass. And like I'm just like playing in screamo bands and stuff, you know, and but I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll play that, and we practiced a couple times. We went to the show to play, and like we played like a few songs, and the vocalist was like like turns his mic off real quick and comes over and whispers in my ear like, can I like settle down like a couple notches, because like I'm taking the spotlight off of the rest of the band or something like that. And
That's so funny.
I was just like, oh, because y'all are all just like more or less standing there and like posing, you know, and like
Like, how do you?
I
Like,
was
how
just
do
having
you do
fun.
that? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which,
like some people can do it. Some people can like really like just plant their feet and just be like fucking rocking, and like
yeah,
that's
no,
cool. Like sometimes it really works, but like
the first time
I
when I
just I
saw
could never.
Dillinger Escape Plan, that's like how their vocalist was. Like, it was after Calculating Infinity came out. It was like, you know, that vocalist, and it was a long time ago.
Mm.
But anyway, like he was like just up on this stage and just more or less in the same spot. Everybody else was like running around and throwing their guitars around like they were trying to
Mm.
escape from straitjackets, but like that person was just there like with the mic in the stand with like the hand on the mic and just more or less like, you know, back and forth with it. And it was insane. It was like he was like a Frankenstein monster, and like he commanded the stage in a way
Yeah,
that I've not
and
seen.
that
It doesn't even make sense like how intense he was. I was just like,
oh,
what the fuck, you know?
I saw we when we played Roadburn, we got to see Cult Leader, which was like fucking crazy because I love that band. But that was the same thing where like the rest of the band were going nuts, but the singer had his hood up the entire time, and he just like was just clutching the mic stand and just like just destroying it.
Hmm.
Like he was so just rocking back and forth, and it was like that's awesome, like that's so intense. Like even that, I also saw Dillinger. I saw them at Reading, not that infamous Reading, but a different Reading, where Greg did the first two songs like sat down, and it was so cool because the presence, and if you can make it work and you're doing it deliberately as like a moment, that can be really effective. Like I'm saying, I love theater and I love the like dramatics of being like this song we're all gonna face the back and just like play facing the audience. We've got one person front in front of them. That's really cool, but like sometimes it is just more fun if everyone is just going fucking ape shit. Like there is nothing like that. Like seeing a band all not in like choreo, but like all just going nuts. Like it's cathartic and it's I don't know. It it gets people going. Like if you see
Yeah.
a full band just going nuts, you get wrapped up in it. Like I think that's like the coolest thing. You could be knackered at the back of a show going, I don't know, I'm not that bothered, I'm quite tired. And see a band just go ape shit from the first song to the end. You go, yeah, like come on, that's awesome. Like it gets you going.
Yeah. Especially if you're playing with bands like that, then you're like, oh, I
Oh
can't
yeah, it
wait, you
motivates.
know?
Like
And
I
then
love
afterwards,
seeing
I'm
like
always like, everybody else was better, but that's another story, right? It's
yeah.
like,
I mean, I love like not to toot my own horn or anything, but like there's not many bands that we play with where I get like intimidated by like following them. Often I'm like, we're really good performers. We go hard and it's a thing we do well. When I see a band like who's performing and they just fucking like they're killing it, I'm like awesome. Like I'm like game on. like it makes me step myself up, which in like not a competitive way, but like a okay, cool. Like I need to like really go for it tonight because like they've thrown the mantle down, even if they don't realize it. Like I
Yeah.
want to be the most performing band on the. I want to be that performing band. I want to be the. And people walk away going, "Holy shit, that was fucking nuts," or whatever. Like I love that.
It's such a, it's like, I don't know. There's a whole like, there's so much like I've been doing this stuff for so long that like
Mm,
I've seen in different, in different spots of the country and in different eras of time. I've seen so many different like ideas come and go about what
mm,
is like I guess the best word for it would be like appropriate like at
mm,
shows. And it's really like there's like I remember like from the 90s, and there this is like you go to a bigger show like Bad Religion or something, and
yeah,
that's maybe at like a, a 5 to 700 capacity place, right? And there's like a pit going, and everything like that.
mm,
But then, like your band would go on tour, and you're not playing those kinds of things, even if your band like which mine at the time like did sound like Bad Religion or something, right? Like
mm,
it was like more or less like, yeah, we don't do that at this level, like we don't do that because of different reasons, and other
mm,
places they would be like, that's fine, like we do that, and
mm.
like we played in a trailer in Mississippi. That was like we were like, is this trailer gonna fall over? Because people were moshing. It
So
was
fun though.
fun, and and then like the general consensus in those things were like, don't be an asshole, like. And people would absolutely not be like swinging like punches and stuff, which is like
Yeah,
a thing now, which is that's mind
I think
boggling to me. But like
yeah.
then
I've got a lot of opinions on the fist swinging
yeah,
thing.
then there was
Yeah.
like there was genuinely a time like in the 2010s, like in mid 2010s, where people were like you know people became very concerned about like non-consensual touching, and that's very
Mm,
understandable in like 9 million aspects and all the reasons you can think of why that's an important conversation to have. But in a lot of spaces what that meant was like you literally just would not like you would not dance in a way where you might push somebody or whatever. And
yeah.
and this wasn't like anybody necessarily being afraid of being accused of anything like, bordering on assault or anything. That was just like
Yeah.
another conversation that was happening at the time. And so, we would like, I would go from like, you, like in 1999, I'm playing and I'm like literally like smashing a microphone in my face and pieces of my teeth are coming out and people are going ape shit, to like later you might do the same thing, but you have to make sure you're like way far away from people because you don't
Yeah.
want, and now it's like once again, and there's this whole other thing where like people are literally like running through crowds, like swinging fists and punching people, and other people are like, if you like, why did you come here if you don't want to get punched? And you're like, whoa, shit, like
Yeah, I mean,
I did not come here to
it's
get punched, first of all.
yeah, no. I mean, it's complicated. I mean,
Yeah.
I always think of like the Fugazi thing of being like, you jump up and down. There's no moshing here. If you mosh, we stop.
Yeah,
Which
at the
I'm like,
drive-in
that's
was
not.
famous for that too. Like,
Yeah, and like,
yeah,
I'm not saying don't mosh at shows. I love that shit. And as anyone who's played in a band knows, it is the coolest fucking thing to see people jump and stage dive and mosh to your music. Like that is one of the coolest feelings in the world. My feelings on things like crowd killing and that is that you just need to be aware of your surroundings. If you want to do a little two-step, a little spinny arm, little spin kick thing, awesome. Go for it. It looks cool. I'm not saying it doesn't. But be aware of each other. Don't run slap bang to someone who probably isn't aware and then get annoyed when they go, hey man, maybe don't do that. If you can't go to a show, if you go to a show and you can't enjoy it without hitting someone or being physically involved with someone else, I don't think you're going to shows for the right reason.
yeah.
And
I
that might
mean,
be a controversial take within the hardcore scene. That is the take that I'm willing to die on.
yeah,
I got knocked out at a show in my old power violence band when I was just standing at the very back of the room by someone just spin kicking too far to the back. You've got the whole room. There's room around. Just be aware. I've got loads of mates who are big dudes who are fully aware of their surroundings. They swing limbs. They've never hit anyone. It's not that difficult. You don't need to incite violence at shows. And if you're saying hardcore is about violence or hardcore is about, oh, I miss the violence or like the old scene or whatever, think about what you're speaking from. If you're saying that as a straight white dude, think about the privilege you have. There are women there, there are people of color, there are people of all forms of minorities who are unable to go to shows and probably don't miss the violence of those times.
yeah. My whole thing is
Think
like,
it through a little bit.
if hardcore is about violence, like, and it's about like being disruptive to like a kind of like hegemonic ideals, like put your headset on and go to a country club and start
Yeah.
shit there. Like go do it there. Like, but you won't, because like you don't, like you only like violence when no one will like like deal it back to you, you know, like
You like violence when other people are watching and they'll applaud because they think, oh yeah, that guy did a really good like spin kick. Like it's like it's a dick measuring contest.
yeah,
Half
seriously
the time.
though, go to a golf course and just crowd kill, like please do that. um, put whatever in your headphones, go to a golf course and just run down the green and knock someone the hell out. That would,
Yeah.
you know, because you can see videos. You see videos where you're like, people are literally taking aim at people, and you're like,
Yeah, and
this
like,
person's half your size. You see
yeah, and
this
they're like,
person
oh,
coming from the other side of the room, and you're like, this is, I don't know.
yeah, you see all sorts. I
But-
mean, yeah,
But that, you know, that's
it's fucking crazy, and some people love it, and some people it's like the whole thing they want their bands to be, and about like is the violence. We want to be the most violent hardcore band in Suffolk or whatever. And you're like, yeah, but like, I mean, I just don't think it's cool, and like you can still do the moves. Just be aware. Just look around. Like hardcore is having. They're the same people who are so keen on like we need to gatekeep harder. All these new kids are coming in, they don't understand the scene or whatever. The kids who don't understand the scene who are getting into it because they've heard a Turnstile song on TikTok or whatever, if they're not about it and they don't actually love it, they'll go. It won't be a part of it for long, and then they're gone. You don't need to target those kids and go, well, anyone who's here who clearly haven't listened to Marauder or whoever the fuck, we need to beat them to show them that like this is what it's all about, and if you can't handle it, you need to go. The hardcore has never been bigger. You've got Knock Loose and like Turnstile playing like stadiums and arenas. We should be welcoming people into this scene that we used to all get fucking the piss taken out of us in like secondary school because we listened to like screaming music. Now everyone is listening to screaming music. And Sleep Token and Bring Me the Horizon are like some of the biggest bands in the world. Like, it should be. This is the promised land. Like of alternative music. Like, we've made it. Finally, it's cool to be like a hardcore kid. And now you're trying to be like, oh, but we are going to try and beat up anyone who we think isn't a real hardcore kid. Like, grow up.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't. There's always like a. There's always an element that's like. Any kind of metric of expansion of ideas or perceived success, is met with animosity to like people who think they're like some kind of purist of an idea, or whatever. But
it's just so lame.
But
the lamest take you can have as a music enjoyer.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's wild. But like, so you all started in 2017, so this is like a while for a band, and I think we're in an era now where like bands kind of do and can last longer for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not sure what. Maybe it's like, maybe it's just a thing as a society where we are now as people just like learning how to communicate better, and so there's not just like two people don't agree on how a particular riff should go, and so the band breaks up over it or something. But like you said, that you started as a two-piece and you're like, yeah, this really works because it's easier and everything like that. And yeah, my band turned 15 this year. We definitely spent we spent, I don't know, about like most of like nearly 10 years like as a two-piece. But occasionally somebody would just be good and know the bass parts, and we'd be like, okay, let's do it. And like walk me through like what your setup is as far as like, because on the album, there's something there is a lower register there. There's like what you would perceive as a bass part, but it clicks in and out when you do your little like wheedlies and your panic chords and whatnot. So like I would assume, okay, we have like some kind of octaver or something, that's doing this, but then it clicks in and out. Like, what's your setup like, and what, like, how are you doing this live to where?
Thank you for asking this. This is the question every guitar player wants to be asked.
And what's funny is like when I randomly ask these, like I don't say, hey, I'm gonna ask that question. It's just like this band, like this question comes because I'm interested, right? But when I get into this stuff, like people later when they listen, they're like, I fucking love that. And so I'm like, I really should ask more shit like that.
Like, I love booking gear and stuff with other bands on tour. Everyone's got cool tricks and bits. My setup is super simple. On recording, we double track everything and we use a bass.
Oh, okay.
We basically record like we're an actual band.
Okay.
Then we just don't use a bass player live because we've never had one. And my setup is I'm not going to respond. Sorry, ignore the bell in the background. I use a Fender Jaguar or a Telecaster. I run into a God City Brutalist distortion. My main distortion. I use like both. I use a bass amp and a guitar amp, both solid state. It's a Boss Katana and a TC Electronic bass head. I found that the solid state stuff is more reliable because I used to just blow up amps because I just fucking rag them. And they take that distortion really well. That, and then I have a Pitchfork, like the Wee Woos. I've got some other little toys. I've got a ring mod I use for like certain songs, for like exit wounds, for example. I have got a Hall of Fame sort of reverb. Then I've got like it's a glow flight effects looper, which I use for like interludes. It's a really cool pedal. It's like you can like change where the loop starts and like twist like the speed and the like pitch. You can just make really warped. It's a really cool pedal. Definitely recommend anyone to check that out if you like weird pedals. It's fucking awesome. And I've got two Boss delays. One that I use as like just like a like the stutter glitch effect sort of thing. That, and then one that I use for just straight up like noise, and like just cacophonies. And then I run that all into a what's it called? It's just like a splitter, like a tiny little ABY splitter, so the signal goes to both amps, and then you just play really hard and loud, and it sounds fucking awesome live.
Yeah.
Um, I used to use a wireless, but that would just fuck up on me, so now I just use long leads. And yeah, it's like a really basic setup. I never wanted to use like an octave pedal for like low octave because I always found like when we do like I like to use like big sounding chords a lot of the time, and the tracking would always be naff. I was really into loads of like the like post rock and like math rock bands that use the like pog effects, like that like signature like low octave whammy sound. I found that if I did that, all the riffs I would write would just be like low string, bow 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 bow, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I was like, I don't want to do that. And if you add like one riff with that, then the rest of the sound feels like thin. So I was like, if I just use an octave, if I just use shriek, like high octaves for when I need them, the rest of the like sound will sound really chunky either way. So it's a lot of mids as well.
Like with
Very
your
mid.
pitchfork. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
So high screechy octaves only, and then I use like at the end of our set, I do like I call it like the bomb drop, which is ridiculously lame. But I basically put I put it on the octave below, and I just like slam it at the end, so it just sounds like the world's falling apart. Which is quite cool to do for like one thing at the end, so it really like makes me go, "Holy shit! What the fuck is that?" Like
For sure.
using a pedals for like. I like to think of it as like we've toured Europe quite a bit, and with that I've used like a smaller board where I've taken like the distortion, a pitchfork, on my reverb and my delay. I've just done it on that, and think of all the other things like the glitch effect and my looper and like ring mod as like additional coloring pencils in like the pencil case.
Yeah.
Like they're fun to add embellishments and stuff, but I don't need them all the time. And just clear it out of them, do like a simple 4 pedal board. But like, yeah, that's my very long-winded response of like that's my setup.
Yeah.
But it served me very well.
It's really funny is I guess I'll out myself a little bit, but it's like there's stuff that like there's a way you can tell like how nervous I am to play the show or whatever, because like if if I'm nervous or whatever, I'll just have like a tuner. Though there'll literally be nothing else. But if I'm feeling like for whatever reason, I'm just like, oh yeah, like I can manage more like messing around and like then I might have like a reverb. I might have like an outside distortion. I might have, you know,
Mm.
even like I might have my Mimic or my Pitchfork or my Pog with me, you know, like
Mimics are cool. I really like that pedal. That pedal's a
yeah.
really cool, especially for like the doubling stuff. That's a really cool way of doing that.
Yeah, it's really wild. I recently did a thing where I used it on vocals, and it was
Oh,
weird,
sick.
and I was like, this is weird and cool, and yeah, I don't know, like I
Just look, I love seeing like actual pedal boards as well. Like we play with a load of bands who use like the Helix and like the Pod Cortex stuff for all the like presets and that, and I see the joy of that. But like, I love seeing actual pedal boards with people who just have like random assortments of like things and sort of like I enjoy the dweebery of like the camaraderie of being like, oh man, what's that distortion there? Or how are you getting that like sound? Like,
mhm.
oh, you're using that delay? That's really cool. I hated that delay, but you make it sound really cool. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's,
yeah,
I think it's just dope. Like, I love seeing how people use stuff. And sometimes you're really surprised. Like, I saw my friend played in a band called Delay the Liar, who were like a post like hardcore band, like pop rock sort of stadium rock thing. He had like two different HM2 like clones on his board. I was like, when the fuck are you using those? And the set he's like, oh, I use them like all the time. That's awesome. Like, that's so funny. Like these chainsaw fucking pedals and a pop like rock band. It's awesome.
yeah. I you know like I mentioned the Mimic, and I have a Pitchfork and a Pog, and it
Mm.
sounds like I got all these like baller pedals or something, but I like actually don't. I bought I bought both the Pitchfork and the Pog from a friend of mine, who's the guitar player for Hundreds of AU, and like I've probably bought like a lot. I can't think of them right now, but I swear I've probably bought like two or three other pedals off him. Like whenever he has like a pedal, it's always like he's getting rid of it. He found something he likes better, and he's selling this cheap. And I'm like, I've always wanted one of those. But
That's great though. Like that's
other
the
than
way to get pedals. Pedals are expensive these
yeah,
days.
no,
Like
and that's what
especially
I
in
was
the
gonna
realm of
say
like
is because like that's
boutique
my
stuff.
other stuff, like all the other stuff that I have, it's like $30. Like
Yeah.
we were playing with Jillian Carter once, and I heard what was coming out of Logan's amp, and I was like, what is that pedal you're using? And it was this little Donner pedal that was like $30, and that's still my favorite pedal that I've ever bought. Like I
Sometimes it's the fucking way. Like
yeah.
I mean, the God City one I've got, I haven't got an actual God City. I've got a because you can buy the PCB and then build it yourself.
Oh.
I bought the PCB and then gave it to a friend who could build like the pedal for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got it for like 40 quid. It's not got a cool box, but like it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Or like both the Boss ones I got second hand for like £40, and those pedals have lasted me 5 years. Like, and I've beaten those pedals. Like, they do not die. Whereas, like, I think sometimes you can get really stuck. Like, I remember I bought one of the Earthquaker ones, and I loved it. It was an amazing fuzz, but I was just like, this pedal was like £160.
Mm-hmm.
I've played other fuzzes I enjoy more that were like way less than this. So I think it is really to like your own personal taste with those sort of things. Like people you spend so much money. Same with guitars. I don't see the point in anyone spending over like £500 on a guitar.
Yeah.
Like
I don't have a
over
guitar
that,
that costs more than like 300.
yeah.
I don't
Like even free, like a good like
yeah.
Squire, like anything, a good like decent price Squire will last you forever. Like there are so many good budget guitars. Like you don't need to be buying like this like £13,000 like Les Paul. You're like why is it £13,000? Explain to me exactly why it's worth £13,000, and I'll
Yeah.
still tell you you're a mug.
Yeah, I mean, my like, I think I lied because I think I have one guitar that probably cost more than that, but it was like it was a gift from my dad, which is like, I'm not gonna get into
It
that
doesn't
whole
count.
thing, like because my relationship with my dad was not always great, and so like getting this guitar was like I feel like it was like some kind of penance for him, him being
Yeah.
like, I'm giving you, I'm giving, I'm giving you a guitar. Imagine that, But like, yeah, I mean, it's an Epiphone Sheraton, which is like one of those.
Dick.
It's like the 335s or whatever. Pretty much the same as the 335. I don't know what the difference is really, except for the name, but yeah, like I mean, I guess like I get it, but like yeah, especially at the level where you're just like going around like you know and playing on floors and like
Yeah.
and I mean I'm not saying that in a pejorative, like that's the level that I love and I want to stay at, like
Oh
but
yeah,
like
100.
but just when you're at that level, like and we played a show one time where because I was drummer and vocalist for like the first like 9 years of our band or something, and we played a show one time where we had the drummer for Ostraka play our last three songs with us, so I could freestand with the mic, and then in our last song, I was gonna play second guitar, and so we asked my friend like can we borrow like we cleared this all well before the show and everything, but I was just like can I borrow like your head and like can I borrow your guitar stuff for like one song, because they were playing like either before us or after us, so it was like a thing. And this was somebody I knew for like a really long time, knew quite well, been on tour with him and everything, so it wasn't like just asking someone you're kind of acquainted with. But anyway, I did not know that when I was asking that, I was basically like, asking to use this like $2,000 like Les Paul, like an actual Les Paul,
Oh
And
gosh.
I was just like, when he's like, yeah, okay, well, it's all set up right there, so just have at it when you're ready to go. And I was like, are you sure? I could ask somebody else. And he's like, no,
Yeah,
it's
like
cool. Just like
give
don't.
give me something else.
Yeah.
I'll feel
And
guilty.
no, I mean, I was very like obviously I was going to be careful with it either way, but obviously I
Yeah, of
was even
course.
more careful with it, But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I've
It's
I've had I'm quite rough with my guitars, as as anyone is when it's their instrument. But
yeah,
I've
when it's
seen people
yours,
like
right?
I've had like guitars have like exploded on me or whatever. I've been like, we got two songs up. Can someone just lend me a guitar? And I've seen people really gingerly be like, I'll give him the backup one just in case something awry happens. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna like fucking like start like setting your guitar on fire or something. Like it'll be fine.
Yeah. When we toured Europe for the first time, I was borrowing someone's guitar, and it was like that we were touring with a band, and the person who let me borrow the guitar was in a band with the people I was on tour with, and they were all going to meet up and do like 3 or 4 shows sort of at the end of our tour. And
Oh,
so they were letting me use this guitar, and I'm like, at every show, like I'm obviously I'm like I'm gonna make sure that nothing happens to this guitar. But the thing that I couldn't really control was bleeding, like all like I'm
oh,
bleeding all over
dude.
this guitar. All like we were playing outside in Bratislava, and it was like in May, and it was like 50 degrees outside. So like I'm not only like I'm hitting my fingers on the strings, but it's cold, and so I'm just like
Yeah.
and I for whatever reason like I misunderstood like what day we were going to meet up with them, and
Mm.
I hadn't cleaned the guitar off yet, and I felt
Oh
so bad.
God.
I was like, no, like, and they were stoked. They were like, that's so fucking cool. And I was like, it's not. It's a biohazard. It's
It's
like,
not. It's so gross.
yeah, this is so nasty. And they were just like so sweet, and they were like, no, this is so fucking cool. Like this, like you all are one of my favorite bands, and now and look at this. Like this is
No, I can clone you.
and yeah, exactly. But I did, I stole some, like there was like somebody who was like cleaning a bathroom in McDonald's that we stopped at in Austria, because like Austria had like vegetarian McChickens at the time, so we stopped at this McDonald's, and there was somebody cleaning a bathroom, and then they weren't like in there, but they left the stuff. So I stole these like rags. Like they weren't rags. They were like the like
Cloths, they're like
yeah,
cleaning
yeah,
cloths.
yeah. But they're like made of that weird like really durable foam kind of. But they were cloth
Oh
like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
I took like I took them like out of this thing, and I was like, I'm gonna clean this guitar up, and I did. I totally cleaned it. It was like, you know, it was brand
You
new.
did
So
the honourable thing.
yeah,
That's
but I planned to do
what
it
as long
before
as you
then was
whatever
my
you
thing.
do to someone else's guitar, as long as you can either fix it or clean it after, I think it's all game.
Yeah.
Like we just did we did a fly out show to Spain like a couple months ago, and the I got to borrow the like organizer's guitar, and he gave me this like glittery like green Telecaster Deluxe, and I was like, "This is the fucking coolest guitar ever." I was fully expecting just to be given like some like a black like
Sure.
standard like Strat. I was like, "This
Yeah.
guitar is so fucking sick." And he was like, "Yeah, go crazy on it. Like, change the strings. Like, they're not gonna break. Like, if something happens, like, hey man, fucking just go for it." So I fucking ragged it. It was so sick. It was such a fucking cool guitar. It sounded awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. I've not,
Out to the kind people of Europe who will let you borrow most things. Very kind in Europe.
yeah, that's awesome. It's yeah, I mean, like I bet you I feel you like no matter how well I clean that guitar, I bet you still, you can't look under it under like a forensic light or something.
Oh yeah,
Those
you put a
there'll
black
be
light on that
yeah, there'll
thing,
be something
it'll
in there.
still show up.
But
Totally
yeah,
true.
so speaking of like tours and everything like that, y'all do have like the new release is coming out August 29th. It's called Survival is an Act of Defiance, and I've heard it. It's awesome. I think
Thank
that
you so
y'all
much.
have maybe two songs out from it at this point, or was it
Yeah,
like
we've just
yeah,
at the time of recording, we've just released our second single from it.
yeah, and then like straight from there, literally the next day you're going on tour with Here's Collective.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Um,
I'm like,
is
I'm
that
beyond
most
excited.
is that mostly in the UK? I it seemed like it, but I didn't get a chance
Yeah,
to
it's
really.
mostly in the UK, and then
Uh-huh.
there's two dates where we're in the Netherlands, and then there's a date where Hers Collective are going to Italy, and we are driving up to Scotland for Core Fest, where they then come back the next day and play. Um, so we get to watch like I think we're going to be up there early, so we get to watch like the Feta we've never seen before, and like our pub walk and shooting daggers and a bunch of our mates and stuff. And then we played the next day with like Frontiera and Cave In, which is like fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's fucking awesome. It's gonna be a really cool tour. We got to play with I Love Her Collective. They're like such an inspirational band to me as a queer person. And they're just fucking hard, and they're cool, and Jenna is like an amazing like person. And we got to play with them in Berlin on this tour we just did with Stormo. And getting to meet them and just see them was it's just magic. It was just a real cool full circle moment. So yeah, getting to go on tour with them is just gonna be awesome. And like we've got Jenna on a song, so hopefully we're just gonna get to like have Jenna come up and do that with us most nights, and like just really exciting. Like
Yeah.
we haven't done a UK like tour in quite some time. We've just done a lot of like Europe, so it's gonna be nice to be back in like home soil, not driving for 8 hours a day to play in like a squat in like Copenhagen or whatever.
We
Every drive will be like 3 hours max, which is great.
I've said this before, but I think that like to me personally, the two most important bands like in sort of this realm of music right now are both from Philadelphia, and that would be Soul Glow and Here's. And
Oh, 100%.
yeah, and we played shows with both those bands like pretty early in their like lifespan. And what's wild is when we played with Hers, I I don't remember if it was Scott or if it was Jenna, but I was like, I was I was talking like it may be like while they were like making sure everything was set up or whatever, but it was like real casual, just like everybody's sort of talking and I was like, because they used to do all the like the crosses on both sides of the name, and sometimes I still see that, but sometimes I don't. And I was like,
Mm.
I thought y'all were called Thirst, and I thought that was really cool too, like just that they were called Thirst, and they were like no, and not that I don't think hers is a cool name, but also I was like, I just felt really dumb because I thought their name was Thirst, and
Look, we've all gotten a band logo name mixed up before.
yeah, and then like later I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use that for something. I'm gonna call something Thirst. But anyway,
Yeah, First is a good band name.
yeah, it's
Soul Glow are awesome as well. Like I haven't seen them in ages, but like
yeah,
last
me
time I saw
either.
them, they were opening for Coheed and Cambria, which was like such a wild
Mm-hmm.
change of like pace. But like they were amazing, and I saw them at Outbreak when they last played, and like they are like their singer is like one of the best front people I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like talk about like presence and energy. Like
Yeah,
that's another perfect example. Like where they're thrashing around all perfectly still. Like they're an amazing live band. Like I fucking love Soul Glow.
I don't. I can't say there was a while when we were playing with them so often. I can't necessarily say the last time that I've seen them, but I have not seen them in so long.
Mm.
But they did they did sleep over my house like in around it was around like 2019. And that's the last time I've actually seen any of them, um, but yeah, they were cutting through, and I was like, yeah, crash here, um, but yeah, like it's about to be like a real busy back half of the summer for you, and
Yeah,
yeah, you have like a lot of really exciting stuff to look forward to for sure, but
yeah, it's gonna be nice. Like it's been a bit of a quieter. It's like the longest tour we've ever done at the beginning of this year was Stormo in Europe, and that was like a real like eye opening. Like, okay, this is touring. This is proper. Gone for like 2.5 weeks. Proper touring. Can we do that? Are we capable of physically keeping ourselves like in check and able to like keep performing every night? Because I'm infamously quite bad at looking after my voice on tour.
mhm.
Um, we sort of made it through that, so we're like wicked. And then we've had these like 2 months of like looking at all the stuff for the release of Survival and like all that done, and sort of like just looking ahead and being like, oh, cool, we've got like we had the City of Caterpillar show like announced. We're like, oh, amazing, and then we had like just like more and more things getting announced. I like we're going on to a Conjurer and like in November, which is like another band that I've been a fan of since I was like 14, like, and they played in my hometown. They were like crazy. Like we're playing like a bunch of festivals. Like just looking at our like list of stuff, I'm like, we're really fortunate to be as busy as we are, um, and be able to fill up months that are traditionally quite hard months to fill up as a band, especially a DIY band with like minor backing from like a manager who is our drummer and a booking agent who isn't our drummer. Um, like we're really lucky, and we're just yeah. I feel fortunate every day that I get to dance around and wear glitter and scream into a microphone at people. Like I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be able to be doing music to the sort of caliber and uh, regularity that I am doing it. I always thought I'd be like, I'll play some shows in London, I'll play some shows here, and like maybe we'll put out some EPs and that'd be nice. Like I never thought we'd do like one album, let alone two, let alone now like several EPs and some splits, and like we're touring Europe and stuff. Like I yeah. I'm having a lot of pinch me moments recently, and we're not even like taking over the fucking world. We're not like playing arenas. We're not like we've got a lot of friends in bands who are doing like incredible things. Like we're friends with a band called Lamborghini Girls who like are just on like a shit ton of American tours. Like every one of their UK tour dates on this like thing they come back to is selling out. Like they're taking over the fucking world, and I couldn't be any happier for them. So like, not doing that, but like in our own little way, like I'm pleased as punch. I love playing screamo music. It's great fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, well, it's been lovely chatting with you. I actually, you know, I I I love it when I'm like chatting with somebody and I don't even ask like a bunch of annoying questions and we just like have a nice time. But I do at the same time always have to be like, oh, we're going on an hour, and I try to keep them around an hour. So,
This is what happens when you get two yappers in a room.
yeah, right. I'm bad enough by myself, but then when there's two of us, um, but like, is there anything that we didn't chat about that we should chat about before we take off?
Uh, Free Palestine, trans rights are human rights. Support each other. Community, community, community. Look out for each other. The world is on fire. And those who in power are not looking after you, and they do not care for you. Look out for each other more than fucking ever.
And that was my conversation with Harry. Thank you so much, Harry, for taking the time to chat with me. Y'all should go to the Death Goals Bandcamp and download the new EP now, because it's fantastic. Thanks to all of y'all for listening wherever you are as well. Until next time, take care and do good things.